rain and we'll be absolutely fine. Now listen, what's got you fired up this week? What's been around in the news that's really kind of caught your attention?
Children are losing out their potential, in the subject nowadays due to lack of knowledge of the parents.
So you're talking about Muslim children here?
Muslim children not attending music classes.
In mainstream schools you're talking about here, are you?
Yes.
And they're not being able to attend music lessons?
Their parents don't allow them to do that.
Why is that, do you think?
Well, if you attend any shrine, which I didn't, the woman dances there and women dance there and sing there in front of men, women, everyone. And people don't say anything to them. And nowadays they demonstrate on the roads without covering themselves, what we call it veil.
Yes.
Although it's not allowed in our religion.
Yes. And
men are very pleased to see that they are against government or someone, protesting it. Since singing and dancing, I am not quite sure about dancing, but if you recite Quran, and have a good voice to recite it, everyone is pleased. And it doesn't matter whether where they do it, as long as it's not, mind you, out of character, everything is bad. I mean,
I'm not the greatest of singer. I just practice in the car. But for children, it's important, isn't it? I guess
yes,
it's
yes.
kind of a formative time for them.
Everyone everywhere in the world, Muslim, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Middle East, everywhere, women and men do sing. What's wrong with learning it? It doesn't mean that you should go to stage and do it if your parents don't allow you.
What's the objection then? Is it the fact that the music is Western music
No,
in
no.
the mainstream schools? What's the issue?
It's nothing to do with
just a tradition thing. They want to teach their children how to sing. What is that?
It's nothing to do with it. Parents are told that our religion doesn't allow it.
Right.
So if it doesn't allow to sing a song or ghazal or any poetry, then religion doesn't allow women demonstrating on the road either. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Religion is what they believe, not
Yes.
religion what it says.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say, that their custom, tradition, which they know or they don't know, and they pick up from outside, from anyone, is allowed, and it is religion.
Yeah.
But what religion says, I am not a scholar.
No.
But obviously I am born and bred Muslim, so I know it, which one should know to survive. And, I just don't understand it.
Well, listen, if you're watching this at home and you've got anything to say on this particular subject or anything we bring up in the programme this afternoon, why not give us a call and talk back? That's what we're here for. It's your show. 0161 834 5727 is the number, and you can call through directly live to the studio.
It's pity that children are missing out, any particular subject or activities, support, because lack of knowledge of their parents.
Is music seen as a little bit of a recreational subject in Muslim families then?
No, I mean, religious singing is also singing.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that it is not singing.
Right.
If you are singing like a religious song,
yeah, that's okay.
inside or outside,
Yeah.
they don't object, although it is singing. Depends
So
what
we're
is
talking about,
singing.
okay, so it could be things from Bollywood or whatever, or what's in the charts at the moment.
Yeah.
That's being discouraged, you think?
No, I don't think parents know what they are taught.
Right.
Maybe in schools, they teach in English.
Yeah.
Uh, Mostly, I think important thing is whether or not parents know about it.
Okay.
Because if you can, okay, suppose they learn from school singing, they can sing religious song as well. If they learn how to sing,
Yeah.
then they can sing religious as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, not.
Is there a lot of strong feeling in your community, for instance, about this particular subject? Or is it something that's being kept?
Seems
rather?
like that. Not I didn't see in Bradford.
Yes.
It's somewhere in I think around London somewhere.
Yes.
I forgot its name of the town. But it is in England. And children are missing out. But I mean, it's no harm in learning anything. Whether you do it in practical life, you know, or not, that is different matter. Lack of knowledge is a very, very bad. For any knowledge, you know, you don't have.
It's also
ignorance.
it's also a very uplifting thing, isn't it? I mean, singing is actually said to be very good for you as well,
good.
in terms of your well-being.
Yeah, you know how to read Quran. If you know how to sing, then when you learn how to sing, it means you learn how to recite Quran better. Then you sing religious songs. You know, if you learn how to sing, then you know how to sing religious songs as well. You know, so it's not that once learn in English how to sing doesn't mean that they can't do the other
Yes.
Languages either.
Yes.
And also, if you go to shrine, the women are dancing there. So singing is not bad.
No, it's an interesting subject. If you'd like to get involved, you can give us a call, 01618345727. Anything else that you've noticed around and about this week which you've thought, interesting? I mean, we'll talk about the things in the news. In fact, let's go straight on, because Afzal, I'm sure, will be with us soon. The immigration caps being put in place by Theresa May on an emergency basis, so to speak. A cap of 24,100 between now and next April, when a permanent cap for non-EU immigrants will be put in place. What's your view of that?
Well, I think we should first of all go back to the roots of immigration. Immigrations are good, but who created it in the first place? You know, people were living very peacefully.
Yes.
And they uprooted them.
Yes.
In Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan.
Yes.
You know, that's why immigration occurred, you see, so much in everywhere, you know.
Yes.
So they have I should say,
we're trying to fix. Are you kind of saying in a roundabout kind of way that we're trying to fix something that we played a major part in creating?
Exactly. I mean, if they are responsible to do it, then they have responsibility.
But as an island nation as well, we are outgrowing our size in a way, aren't we? We are getting.
I totally agree, but I don't think you would like my answer though.
No, please do. But we're under financial pressure at the same time. So I think
well,
that's...
why do you create for others financial trouble and uprooting them?
Well,
I mean, traveling so far
there is that
without any reason.
Yes.
Of I mean, people are invited here, right? That is different matter. They came here, work hard, made their living, everything. It's quite right, you know. And British people, American, everywhere in the world, you know, that's no harm in it. But you create, first of all, uproot people, destroy their lives, and then you wash your hands of their responsibility.
There is that argument. There is also where we are today, and we do have to take account.
Whether it's a small island or big island.
But regardless of where the number of people in our country come from, we have got that sheer number. We do, to a degree, now need to start bringing that under some kind of control, do we not?
I totally understand it, but the problem is, I mean, whoever commit crimes have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And this is also a crime. Every day, 30, 40, 50 people have been killed.
Yes.
For so many years, and in my calculation, over 2 million people are, killed. And you barge in any country you like. I don't mean particularly
No, you mean the UK.
American and
Yes,
UK.
yes, yes.
And you rob everything they have and kill their parents, children, whoever gets in your way. I mean, they have rights to defend. You expect them to fold their hands and say, welcome here in our country and take it over. If it is it's a small island, why go there?
Okay, let me bring this opportunity to welcome Afzal Khan. Afzal, good afternoon to you. Good to see you as always. Former Mayor of Manchester, Labour councillor here in Manchester. We're talking about the week in review. Of course, one of the stories that came to the fore this week was the immigration of 24,100 between now and next April, when a permanent cap into place.
नहीं तो कार
नहीं तो मैं बंद करके दरवाजा चाबी छट जाएगी ना लेटर बॉक्स the temporary cap now is to stop a rush of applications before the permanent cap is introduced. What's your view on capping per se, first of all?
I think capping per se, I'm not in favour. And I think this particular idea of how they're playing with it is a gimmick. My third point would be, I'll elaborate on each one if you want later on, but the third point would be, it's a funny marriage they have, this coalition, that before they were talking about the Liberal Democrats, that they wanted to pardon people and allow people and open borders and all this.
Yes.
It's good for Britain, and suddenly now they're in bed with the cap idea. And I said it's a gimmick because I think ultimately, what is it, the result, net effect of all what they're saying? Number one point is that actually immigration benefits this country. So if you're talking about the difficulties in that sense, actually what we know is the immigrant community are net contributors. So it's good for the economy.
Yes.
The second point is there are already enough restrictions actually to control. If you look at what they're doing now, it's very little. The large amount of immigration that takes place comes from EU.
Yes, I mean, looking at the figures, it's way over half.
It's not 80. All these figures actually come very high.
Yeah.
So there's very little they can do to that. And then within, which is non-EU immigration, there are already various restrictions. And fundamentally what they're doing is actually a restriction on those who are highly skilled. How can that be good for our country? But don't forget there are other exceptions they put in at the end, which includes the people who are involved in the sport and the religious people, the like priests and imams and like that. Where is the actual tightness coming in? Where's the benefit? I think it's more, that's why I use the term, it's more a gimmick than anything else. What we'll see is the one which will come after, but there will be a tightening of it, I think. And that I don't think will be good for the country.
There's another thing, they are spending I heard in the morning and yesterday, they are spending 1.6 billion, I think, in 2 countries. And they go in every country and, occupy them because to promote their own military weapons. I mean, if you have a good relationship with someone, you don't have to spend that much money to kill people. You invest there, I hear, anywhere. And also have a good relationship to get more benefit, then you have to spend it like that. And also people in this country are also suffering because of that reason. So why do it? It's crazy.
All right, we'll come back to this point and many more. We must take a quick break. Listen, I'd like you to get involved in the programme as well. I'll give you all of the details straight after this short break. Don't go far.
A large variety of pure, untreated natural stones, including...
Good afternoon, lovely to have your company. Thank you for joining us here on DM Digital. You're watching Spotlight with Derek Marks. My guest this afternoon, Mubarak Iqbal, who's our guest reviewer this week, and Afzal Khan, Labour Councillor, right here in the heart of Manchester. We were talking before the caps on immigration, which we may come back and touch on a bit more. Let's talk about the other things that popped up in the news, particularly today, because of course we're in a time of austerity, we're in a time of money saving. But also David Cameron and the coalition are saying, okay, be open with everyone, so today they deliver the figures on pay scales for 156 of the top Quango executives. Quangos, of course, being organisations that are taxpayer funded one way or the other anyway, aren't they? So the CEO of Olympic Delivery, £400,000. Lord Mogg, the chief executive of Ofgem, £215,000. MI6 boss John Sawyers, £170,000. Do we need to know this kind of information about it?
No. No, the information about how much they are receiving.
Yes.
Yes, of course we do. We do. And what they are receiving it for, that is also, they should tell everyone.
A massive disparity there in there as well. It's big sums of money. I'm not getting away from that. But the chief of MI6 gets £170,000, and the CEO of Olympic Delivery, just responsible for delivering a 2-week event, whatever it is, in 2012, gets paid £400,000. That's 3 or 4 times the salary.
MP's job is to run a country, isn't it?
Well, these aren't MPs, but they're paid.
What I am saying is that MP's job is to run a country.
So MPs should be doing all of this.
Exactly. So if they have no brains to run a country, why should they be MP? Why should we pay them salary as well as the other people whom we don't even know whether or not they can do the job?
Right, well, are the MPs capable of AFSO in the first place? Let alone the Quangos. And they employ the Quangos, they set up the Quangos.
Yeah. Interesting point. You can look at this issue in a number of different ways.
Yes, you can.
I mean, one of the ways you can look at it is perhaps the MPs are not being paid enough. Because if you look at it, if the Prime Minister is to run a country, and all of these people we're talking about are running a much smaller elements than a country, then how can that be right? Yeah. But the other way you can look at it is, never mind these payments. What about these bankers? Never mind these. They're into billions, 100 millions. They get paid.
Yeah.
But I think you have
they
to step
do the
back.
crime and you pay the price.
Yeah, they do the crime and we do the time.
Yes.
And it's a long time, of course, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
But while Quango bosses are commanding these kind of salaries, but is that just because we don't have the expertise in the public sector? We have to go out, we have to pay the commercial amount for this level of expertise. Although in the case of Olympic Delivery, does it justify a £400,000 salary?
But all I was trying to do is really put things in perspective.
Yes.
And that's why I said if you look at some of the bankers, some of them actually, their bonuses are over £1 million.
Yes.
But ultimately, as a society, we should be looking at, how can we bring about more fairness. Yeah. And I think in that respect, I don't mind that idea of the Conservative Party had introduced, there has to be multiple points between the highest paid and the lowest paid. I think that's an interesting idea for a society, so that actually the gap between the bottom and the top isn't that wide. I think that's a lovely idea, and I think, yes, there has to be some differential. At the end of the day, it's linked to responsibility as well, and ability, and so, but...
You're shaking your head at that?
There is no accountability in any department. This is not the exceptional.
Is the government right to be as open as it is being by publishing this? Is it really doing any good in the long run?
Well, ultimately, I think knowledge is not a bad thing, and the more we know...
But we're going to the stage, this is just...
Think about it, let's look at it. We spend a year, 2 years now at the MP expenses.
Yes.
Now, had these been in a closed door, which they were before, and been going on for centuries, we didn't know. Okay, we were better off that we didn't know. But it's happening, and now that we knew about it, there was an outcry, and something has been done. It's become more transparent.
We were
so
not
hence,
better off.
hence having a knowledge
I'm
is.
sorry, I wouldn't. We were not better off, you know, when this was hidden. Now
No, I
it's
didn't.
open.
What I meant was, we didn't know the pain. In the sense
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Ignorance is a bliss in that sense.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. But of course, I disagree with it, and I'm in support of transparency. And I think that the fact that it became transparent, then we were able to do something about it, and now there is much better control.
Is
So
there a
hence it's
danger
just-
though, because this is
Thank
also
you.
a very this is a drop in the ocean of the information that's going to come out. It's muted that by next year, the year after, or very soon, we will know the salary of
रखे हैं लोग
service.
मैं और कुछ भी नहीं रखा साढ़े का
Pakistaन भी है क्या?
So that's
ये
something
क्रिस्प
that is a heck of a lot more than that.
अभी ले आंदे रहे नकल
Isn't that going to start off
दो
with
त्रै बैग
bits of
वो
dispute?
कल बड़े खत्म हो
दूसरा बैग की
Knowledge is not a bad thing. Controlling the knowledge is a bad thing. Okay? That's my
ये
position.
पौने दो से
Second
करीब
point
की
I'm
बत्ती
saying
मिल
is,
जानी
but we need to have a society
नहीं, इस तरह अलग होता है,
where
कुछ दिन
there
दुगने
is
पैसे लगते
less
हैं।
disparity,
बच्चा ना
less
रोज
gap
खाएंगे।
in
रोज-
everything, including the health,
रोज के
the
दिहाड़ी
poverty,
ते त्रै चार आते कुलदानी बैठे हैं
the
ना
facilities,
खाना
including the
दूसरा
rate,
तीसरा
all
खाना
that
आया
I think
पे
needs to be opened up and we need to-
इतनी खांदे
आप कह रही हो पियानी में बॉक्स ले लेना सस्ता रहना। I can tell you one thing.
बॉक्स
about that.
तो मोर
I am glad नहीं। we have done.
बहुत कुछ लोगों-
we know.
जितना तेल लगी हुआ है, एक तो box डालो।
Not just today or yesterday. If they set all of their cameras up, you know, I think we can clear all of our debt.
मैं तो दिन खाती है पहली बार में
It was that simple.
I don't think that
I know there are a fair few, but I don't think there's quite that many.
It's a lot.
But yes, I mean collectively that would make
Yeah,
a huge
exactly.
saving. But I mean obviously these
And there is
quangos.
ultimately chaos in the whole country.
Yes, there would be. But do you think? I mean, let's go.
I don't believe in it.
But let's go back to.
Who
to
would be
where-
running it then, these all different
Well,
organizations?
what the MPs are for?
Or they should run all these things.
Well, why
I thought
not?
the MPs are there to make law, actually, not to run.
Well, the MPs are there to look after their constituencies
Well,
as well. aren't they?
obviously, when they make a law, then obviously court takes over them
Yes,
to employ them.
yes.
Therefore, if they are making
They
laws,
can't run these organizations. The MPs can't run health, can they?
no, MP can get advice from the top person in the health department, and then what happens? Only pay for that period, other than 400, 500,000 pounds.
No, somebody's got to run that. MPs can't run that huge organization.
There-
I'll give
there
you
is-
just one example.
There is a point, Afzal, out of all of this,
Yeah.
that if MPs collectively don't have the experience that's needed, they need to seek this outside guidance, and they're paying what appears to us to be way over the market rate for it compared to even their own salaries. Shouldn't we actually, instead of creating quangos, which are full-time quangos, for the length of that parliament or until they fall
No,
out of
with
favour,
respect,
shouldn't we be using more short-term consultancy
Exactly.
measures to actually solve these problems?
Yeah.
There is a point in what Mubarak is saying, in a way, that we're relying too much on expert
are we
advice.
getting-
There's one more point here, if
What-
you don't mind.
Well, let Afzal come back on just that one point.
I think there's a danger that we're getting mixed up, in the sense that there are people who are special advisors whose job is to advise the government ministers all that, they do all that. But the area we are talking about is those people who are helping to govern or helping us to run number of different departments.
But
I picked up health as one.
But forgive me, but Olympic delivery
Yes.
is
Big
a
project.
it's a massive project, I absolutely agree.
You know,
but
the
it's
whole
a very-
world's limelight.
it's a very
in the center of
temporary
it.
project.
The
though, isn't
world
it?
1 week and to 400,000 pounds is
No,
that's a
no.
good
Do,
job.
do we
Look,
need
look.
do we need on a
Of
long
course
term
you do.
basis?
Look,
to
let me
be
give you an
employed?
example. Olympics is a much bigger thing.
Yes.
Commonwealth Games took place in Manchester.
Okay. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
you have experience of. Of
Absolutely.
course,
And look at the spin-off, look at the facilities,
Yes.
all those things that we are still reaping the rewards for.
Yes.
So come on, it's not a small project, it is a huge project, not only on the publicity point of view, not only the idea that the whole world will be looking at us, but actually the infrastructure ideas will be there for 20, 30 years. So I think, look, there needs to be some...
You are 100% correct in this, that you need expertise.
Yes.
I totally agree with you. But perhaps you have noticed there are so many barrister and lawyers and health doctors in the field of, MPs. That is a barrister MP, that is a doctor MP, and this is that MP and that MP. Almost all professions, people have in the circle of those MPs, right? So if you have got that expertise, knowledge, why do you have to go?
But remember, MPs are voted on the basis not of their business experience or law experience or health experience. They're based on politics and how they represent their constituency. Primarily, they aren't necessarily there to be experts, they're there to be representatives.
You are correct, Derek, but in my view, politics is day-to-day running of the country or a house or a county. Exactly the same. I am running a house, it's a small country, mine. He is running a council, it's a little bit larger size.
Yes.
And if you go to a country, it's a bigger size. But exactly the same.
Are you going to tell me that having a house with no children, having a house with 2 children, and having a house with 20 children is the same? Pressures are different, aren't they? And the needs will be different as well, and
problems, needs and requirements are the same.
No,
except they are a bit more.
I agree with you. That's right. The scale.
Less. It's a scale is a bit larger.
Yes.
So if I've got 2 children. If my 2 children go to school, yes, I need their clothes, this and that. Maybe say, for the argument's sake, £100 a month. You have got 5 children. You need £500.
Yes.
As simple as that. But if you can't do that much, why should you be in the council or as MP?
Yes.
It's ridiculous. You cannot use your brain. Why you should be there?
Do you take the point as well?
Why, I totally agree with you.
No, a different point actually. That MPs probably weren't being paid enough. When you look at the comparison to these experts in their field elsewhere, was it the case? Is it still the case that...
The question is not whether they have been paid enough or not. The question is they had no right to abuse it.
No, that's fine. I think we all agree with that.
Yes.
They had no right, to abuse it while the people, so many people are suffering due to lack of money, especially children.
Just coming back on that point actually of money saving and austerity and where we are, why aren't we 2 years away from the Olympics now actually scaling down to some degree, to any degree, given that could be a contribution to actually bringing the deficit down? We're 2 years away. I know a lot of the money is committed, but surely why are the government not making any noise about saving on this? Because the overspend on the Olympics budget was enormous, which made me in a way question the salary today of the CEO of Olympic Delivery when that budget was way overspent. Now that could be an overhang from the past, but
I think, look, in life, when you make a decision, then sometimes you're stuck with it. And the reality is, we went for Olympic, we thought it was a good idea for the country. There will be many spin-offs. But what we've got now is we've got stuck in this recession idea. There are difficulties because of the commitment. And the commitment is actually to the whole world, that we really have to carry on. But there is a bigger and a separate issue which we're talking about.
With due respect, it's a very good idea.
Let me finish then, with hindsight, it's always easy.
Yeah.
But
in fairness, this recession is over 2 years old.
That's fine, but we've been committing ourselves before 2 years
yes.
to the Olympics.
Yeah, of course.
But I think there is another lesson which needs to be learned, and that is, why is it that all our big projects, they keep overrunning? Why don't we do a proper feasibility study?
Yeah.
Now that needs to be looked at, because there seems to be any big project we handle, we come up with overspend, and that can't be good management.
And we do have experience on massive projects. For example, the Commonwealth Games, we've done it. The Olympics Games, as Mubarak says, it's just the same thing, but bigger.
Much bigger. But the problem, I think he would agree with me, because, they say it's a very, very good idea to have Olympic and football stadiums and cricket fields, everything they should be. And I think we need more than that, less. They are very good. That's not what. the money they are wasting by, asking with 10,000 and then halfway sit down and say, oh, we can't finish it. If you don't do work all day, every day, instead of 1 month's job, you will complete it within 1 month, you will take it a year, and then you will ask more money and more money and more money, and create havoc for others, and waste of money, he knows. And what I'm saying is not, I saw people, start the work and then stop it for months and then, because it took so many months, therefore we need more money.
Okay, listen, we've only got a few minutes left this afternoon. Let's bring another couple of subjects in. Let's talk about the salary freeze. It's on the front page of one of the newspapers today. David Cameron announcing, there it is, Tories freeze forces pay. David Cameron provoked fury yesterday by freezing the pay of frontline soldiers. The PM made the morale-crushing move 3 weeks after pretending to champion troops during a visit to Afghanistan. The salary snub will hit as many as 140,000 servicemen and women over 2 years, around 3/4 of our armed forces. Of course, we are in times of austerity, but our forces are giving more and more for less and less, Afzal.
Look, my sympathy is with our forces. I think they are in a special case where they are out there fighting, whether we agree with the war or not. I mean, I don't agree with the war, but nevertheless, not the soldiers' fault. It's the politicians' fault, right? It's whether they made the right decision or wrong decision. And I think this is a part of hypocrisy, really. 1 minute he's saying one thing, the other minute he's saying something else. I don't support this. What can you do more than giving your life for your country?
To me, this is just another profession. And when you are in a profession, whether it is...
with respect, there are many professions where you give your life.
Why do they do it? You don't force them.
No, you don't. But we need forces.
Well, you are not forced to be a counselor. You are. It's your
that's
choice.
right. But I go home at night.
Your job is not. They didn't force you to come here and do the program. It's your choice. It's a profession.
No, the point I accept that, but the point I'm making is...
It doesn't mean to give whole country to them.
No, that's not... Nobody's saying that.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah, but you have to accept it's a completely and utterly different profession. It's a passion, it runs through families, there are beliefs there as well. Be they, in your opinion, right or wrong?
Yeah, that's a different question.
It's their choice. They knew, what they are getting into.
Look, I think they deserve a decent wage, right? And
decent wage, yes, everyone does it. But I meant, if you say they are exceptional, I could be dead after an hour. Does it mean that I should get no...
But a pay freeze for what a lot of people would consider to be, in terms of careers, one of the biggest potential sacrifice careers, because unfortunately we see...
sacrifice.
You seriously view it the same as going to work in an office?
I mean, it is up to them. It's up to them if they want to job. I felt very sorry, I do when I hear 19-year-old being killed, 20-year-old being killed. Where are their parents? Don't they know they are young children, whole of their life ahead of them? If their parents like
people do make their own choices. And I'm not sure that's particularly the issue.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is a freeze on their pay at the moment, at a time where we are in a time of austerity as well. But the last people almost you would expect to share in that, considering the potential dangers and sacrifices, albeit choice. I don't think choice is really the issue here. This is more a principle, and this would be the same whichever country we were sitting in, for whichever armed force we were talking about.
Do you want this country to go down?
It's not
Or bankrupt?
With respect, that's not what's happening actually. We're overplaying this, the whole thing. I think the question you asked is, fundamentally what you have is our armed forces, and our armed forces have been facing cut for a long time, and they are in a war. If nothing else, you can go and you can use actually. I've already said, I disagree with this war. I think they need to be brought back. Yeah, but I think at this stage we need to show full support to our armed forces, and therefore I would not support any cuts to their wage. The phrase is cut in a sense.
Politics का है.
Let's
I
take
didn't say cut.
Well,
I
the
meant
freeze is a cut,
it
isn't
shouldn't-
it?
Yes, a freeze
Well,
is a cut.
Support
fundamentally
the
it's
soldier
cut.
and-
It's a nice word. Yeah, a freeze. What it means.
What I meant is decent wage according to any other profession, not exceptional case. That's what I'm saying.
But let's talk about how different to what any of us do.
Yes.
Morale-wise, if we have a pay freeze, okay, there's a few mumbles and grumbles by the tea and coffee machine. It's no major issue. We feel it, but generally we get on with our lives. In the armed forces, their career depends, also their well-being in what they do, depends an awful lot on morale, doesn't it? And something like this can't be good for morale. Would be the same if we did it to nurses or...
I think they should ask their governments to pull out, and pull out quick.
But of course that's not the decisions of the individual soldiers
So-
who are fighting for...
That's for me and you. We should be down there. We should compare.
No. One of the soldiers didn't go back.
Yes, there
You know
was.
that.
Yes,
It's not one, maybe
Yes.
many people didn't go back.
well, very
That,
few.
pardon?
Very few as far as we
Very
know.
few, yes, but they didn't go back. What I am saying is that, yes, decent wage, they should receive it. What I am saying is, innocent people there and here and, everyone's, loved ones are losing their lives.
That's true.
Instead of increasing their money, money is nothing. They can earn more in any other way, they want. But they should be at home.
I think we
with
agree
their
with
loved
you.
ones.
We all agree with that. But I think the difficulty is that is not a decision for a soldier. That decision is for a politician.
If more soldiers come out and say that we don't want...
If more soldiers go out, there's twice as many waiting to go in, I can assure you.
I
There
know that.
absolutely is.
I know that.
There's
But
always
exactly,
there
that's-
is always a willingness to
Yeah.
defend the country or the
They are
cause.
not defending the
Be that right. Be that right. No, they're not.
But please here, but thousands and thousands
They're
from them.
but they're
So if
willingness.
you want to accept the wrong thing, you have to do it.
I realise they're not defending the whole country or
Exactly.
land. We're under
Defending
this.
the wealth there. They are just grabbing the wealth there for everyone they want. And mind you, Blair went to war not for this country or for him. He went to war for Americans.
Yes.
There are still, though,
कोई
I
नहीं
think,
कटिया
in
उस दिन ਅਸੀਂ देखा
2010,
नहीं
as
ਸੀਗਾ
many young
मैं
people
समझਿਆ
who
नहीं
see
कटिया
that as
ਐਨੀ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ
a
उसका
fulfilling career.
कोई नहीं कटिया
I really do.
पूरा कोई था
Listen.
Well, that's why I said that they should come home, because then they wouldn't have choice to go there, because they don't listen to their parents, and parents worked hard to bring them up. And then they don't listen to their parents and go there and be killed. I don't like that.
Parts of the joys and the pains of
Okay.
parenthood. Listen, we'll end it there. A very interesting programme. Mubarak Iqbal, Afzal Khan, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Hope we get back together soon and talk again. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Of course, you can always get in touch with us. You can log on to our website, dmdigitaltv.co.uk. If you have any comments on this or any of the other programmes that we bring you, have a very safe 7 days. I'll see you back here just after 2 o'clock next Friday in the Spotlight.
ना